It's Juneteenth, now the newest federal holiday in America. President Joe Biden signing that yesterday at the 156th anniversary of Juneteenth.
We know the day recognizes the end of slavery in the United States and is the first federal holiday since Martin Luther King Jr. Day was approved in 1983. Now, even before President Biden signed the bill yesterday, there were a number of Juneteenth celebrations in the works where we live.
News 3 reporter Anthony Sabella live in downtown Norfolk, looking at some of what's going on this weekend and the history of the now federal holiday. Anthony?
Yeah, that's right. And you can see the stage behind me here. We're at Town Point Park in downtown Norfolk, where they have an event for tomorrow planned. It's called Juneteenth in the Park. It's going to have food and music. It's going to have presentations, cultural outreach, you name it. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of teaching, a lot of learning too here as well. So that all runs from noon to 5 here at Town Point Park. Over in Virginia Beach, let's start at 9 a.m. The Virginia African American Cultural Center and several other groups are going to come together for a special musical and poetry performance at the Vibe District Old Beach Farmers Market. That's really the start of Juneteenth celebrations in that city. Back over here in Portsmouth, just across the Elizabeth River, the Juneteenth Celebration Festival runs from noon to 6 at Trinity Episcopal Church. Then across the water, Newport News is holding its Juneteenth Freedom Festival from noon to 4 at King Lincoln Park. And then Colonial Williamsburg will also begin holding a day of events at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Market Square. There's also, I know, an event in Exmoor and then events also in North Carolina as well. And those are just some of the events commemorating a day that really had its start over in Texas about 150 years ago, over 150 years ago, June 19th, 1865. That's the day Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, and decreed that all of the enslaved black people across the state of Texas were now free. Now, to learn a little bit more about the significance of Juneteenth, I went out and connected with Cassandra NEWBY-ALEXANDER. She's a history professor at Norfolk State University. She's also the dean of the Liberal Arts College there, and she heads up the Roberts Center for the Study of the African Diaspora. And here's what she had to say about Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday.
To celebrate and commemorate that date is an important way to remember the past. Because the reason we have holidays, the reason we have these commemoration periods is for people to stop for a minute, reflect, and to remember. And so Juneteenth would provide the nation with that kind of opportunity to stop, reflect, and remember. That is the best and most important way to not only ensure that we don't go back to that era, but that we begin to appreciate more where we are today.
So, I mean, obviously an incredibly significant day. If you're just tuning in and you want to hear more from Dr. NEWBY-ALEXANDER, we had more of our conversation that's going to be airing later when you make the switch to WGNT at 7 o'clock, so keep that in mind. I should also mention that Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is set to be in town today. He'll be in Hampton at Fort Monroe for a Juneteenth commemoration set for there. That's going to begin at 11 o'clock this morning, but certainly a lot going on to celebrate and commemorate Juneteenth in Hampton Roads and the surrounding area. We're live